Good morning, guys. Good morning, ladies and gents. What's up? It has been a quick minute since you've seen me and JD back here together. What's going on, man? It's how's life, huh? It's been a while, huh?
I can't complain.
Yeah,
Things are good. How are you, my man?
I'm good. I just it was what's
Goose.
up, Goose? It was a nice break. I kind of retired for a minute and stepped away from YouTube and just kind of, enjoyed, just kind of stayed in the moment kind of deal
Of course.
and just kind of was living life for a little bit. Needed a little bit of a break
Got
from
engaged.
yeah. Oh yeah, got engaged.
Yeah.
Yeah, getting married next summer.
Congrats, brother.
Yeah, it's yeah, it's been a hot minute. But we're gonna dive right into this again, guys. But we're gonna do it a little differently this time. We're gonna do it a little differently. What's up, Still? What's up, buddy? We're gonna do this a little bit differently this time around. I think the last time, JD, we kind of pigeonholed ourselves a little bit and kept it to just kind of sports and all that. But me and you, like, we talk about a lot of stuff.
We do.
Like everything, life, like
Almost every day.
everything, man. We'll dabble in the politics, like a little bit, but like,
Yeah,
like it's
a little bit.
just everything, man. Like I think this go around, we're not gonna limit it to just kind of sports. We want to it's just gonna be us just kind of shooting the shit for an hour and a half, 2 hours, and just kind of hanging out, talking about everything. So it's going to be a little more relaxed. Like I said, for those of you who are in it for the sports content, that'll still be there. We're definitely not going to not do it because we both still are passionate about our teams. But we're just going to include a little, kind of just everyday average life shit on a daily basis.
It's different
What's
topics.
up, Vegas? What's up, buddy?
Interesting.
So I think it's gonna be done a little different. It's gonna be a little more relaxed. There's gonna be kind of more topics that we're gonna go over. We're not gonna limit it to just kind of sports, but I think it's gonna be between, like, I don't know, an hour and a half and 2 hours. We're just gonna kind of come on here and talk about sports and talk some shit and fuck around for a little while and see how you guys get you guys' thoughts on some stuff and just kind of go from there. But we'll start once again. Like I said, we're gonna dive right back into it, guys. Let me just grab something from my phone real quick, just so I'm not babbling like an idiot. I have some kind of outline. But once again, though, guys, it's great to see everybody. Vegas, Still, Goose. It's great to see the YouTube crowd back in the house. I'm gonna be honest. And I think JD kind of feels the same way. We miss this, man. We miss hanging out with you guys for a few hours, for a couple days a week, and just kind of, we miss the YouTube crowd. We missed you guys.
Absolutely.
But we're gonna dive right into it, man. So one of the big things that I want to talk about first is the LeBron and Pat McAfee interview, which was a great interview. It was I think it was like an hour and 55 minutes. It was really well done. Pat and LeBron just they talked about everything, like from his kind of humble from his beginnings, from basically clawing his way out of the streets and getting into the NBA, and being a real young kid, and all the different adversities that he faced, being 18 years old and being in the NBA. Like that insight from him was interesting to was interesting to hear from kind of the kid's perspective on how he was how he was kind of viewed as basically a kid in a grown man's league. But the big thing that I think we both kind of want to hit on was the shots that he took, across the bow of Stephen A.
About, the whole conflict between
his,
you
two. Just about his thought, like the shots that he took. I I don't know if they were warranted or not, but I mean, it doesn't surprise me because that's kind of who he is. LeBron's never been shy from he's never shied away from confrontation, whether it's positive or negative. The guy's never been afraid to speak his mind. But I'll get your thoughts on it. What did you think of the interview and of the shots that he kind of threw at Stephen A?
Well, there's layers to it. I mean, I think it comes from a few different, like, there's a lot of layers to this one, I think, and I think a lot of people can recognize the layers, or at least a few people can recognize each type of layer. And one of the layers is simply that this is a guy who makes his living and has made his living off of talking about LeBron and talking about high-profile athletes, especially basketball players. And LeBron, has always had kind of, I mean, not necessarily rabbit ears, but he's always been very like, oh, who's talking shit? Okay, like, and it's not necessarily, LeBron is not, I wouldn't say sensitive. I would not say he's sensitive. But what I would say is that he is a diva, right? So, like, he doesn't like to be, he doesn't like criticism coming from a place of people who aren't. And also, here's another thing too. Like, he went on JJ Redick's podcast a few months or years or whatever it was a while back and said a lot of these people on TV don't even watch the game. They don't even understand the game. They don't even know what they're talking about. They just look at the box score. And honestly, I think he's got a point there.
See, and I don't ever agree with him. But the casual fans that do come on and bash and talk crap, I get him on that one. Because if a casual fan is coming up to you and telling you LeBron, and trying to criticize you, LeBron, it's a different story than it's coming from Stephen A.
Yeah, and I think that also, I think LeBron, he's at the point now where, he's the all-time leading scorer. He doesn't give a crap what anyone says about him going out. I think his legacy is solidified enough to where he feels that he can say whatever he wants to say, and he can control the narrative, right? And Stephen A. Smith, obviously, like, he's pointing out, like, you're lying about this. You knew about the Anthony Davis trade. Like, he's calling him out too. He's saying, I know things that you don't want me to say, but now that you're going to talk shit and say you beat me up, I don't even know what he said exactly. Basically, keep my son's name out of your mouth was one thing, which, by the way, that's something I totally disagree with LeBron on 100%. Like, I'm not saying that you should be extra critical to Bronny just because he's LeBron James' son. He is a second-round pick, and I think everyone who's criticizing him should make sure they realize that he's the 55th pick in the draft, that he's not like a top 10 pick or anything.
He's not a top 15 pick. He was the 55th or 50 something in there.
Treat him as such. That's what I would say. It's like, if you're going to criticize Bronny, that's fine, but let's keep it consistent, right? Like, okay, he's the second round. It's not like he went in the top 10 or even in the top 20. So that's one thing I get, where LeBron's like, why are you coming after a second rounder? I get that. But also, on the flip side, if you are the highest profile athlete in the world, or one of them, and your son is in the league, and not only in the league, but on the same team as you, and you insisted that he was on the same team.
And you begged for him, you begged for that situation.
Don't be shocked when people have something to say about it. Do not be shocked. So there's a lot of there's a lot of layers to this conversation, I think. I also think that,
I don't mean to hear it. So I don't blame him for being a dad and encourage, the dad aspect of it, I get, right? But you also have to realize that when you build your son up so high, and then he gets into the league and he's very clearly a second or third, or, you built him up to be like the next you. That was his. I don't blame him for being a dad and encouraging his kid, basically, right? Sure. But what I do blame him for is he set standards for He set standards for Bronny that just he was never gonna meet. That's the problem. Is that he built Bronny up. He built Bronny up, and he did this for months. Built it up and built it up and built it up, and made him seem like he's going to be the next him. And then when he gets thrown in the deep end, it's very clear that he doesn't know how to swim with the sharks. Like, very clear that this kid was just in way over his head.
I think with him, with Bronny, it's not necessarily that he isn't a talented basketball player. He is. He's got a lot of skill. He is a good shooter. He can actually shoot off the ball, which not a lot of young players can do right away. But the thing is, he's about 6'2". And
Lupe, 1 second. Lupe says no one is safe from criticism. That's
right.
A fact.
No one exactly.
That's
if you're
fact.
a professional, well,
it
this is what I would say
who you
too.
are.
If you're a college athlete, I could see where people are like, okay, they're kids, like, let's give them some space. But the second you don a professional jersey of any kind and you put yourself in the spotlight, I don't care who you are. I don't care what your name is. I don't care how old you are. It is people have the right to criticize you. I agree with Lupe. Like, they have the right to say something like, hey, you're a professional. You're a grown person. I'm going to compare you to these other people who are in your exact same position. I'm not going to make you feel special just because of who your dad is. That's nepotism. So that's what people are pissed about. Now, I totally understand those criticisms. That's why I say there's layers to this. Like, I understand what LeBron is saying, but I also understand what Stephen A. Smith is saying. And I also understand that when you're a professional, it doesn't matter what sport you're in, people are going to come after you. You're going to say, oh, why aren't you as good as this guy? Should we even keep you around? Are you worth the money? Because they're paying you a couple $1 million.
Yeah.
Like, that's another thing, too. It's not like you're just hanging out at the gym with your friends and your dad, and you're not as good as your dad is, but your dad's like, everyone shut up. Don't tell my kid. Like, that's one thing. But you're in the NBA, and you're taking a roster spot that only less than like, I think 0.5% of college athletes get a chance to even sniff.
Yeah.
Right. So, like, 1 out of every 200 college athletes even get to try for the NBA, even get to get on the bench, even get to go to the G League. Do we all believe that Bronny was actually that good?
No.
That's another thing.
No. But but once again, though, this, like, this is where I don't fault. This is where the very few instances that I don't, hey, fuck you too, Pat. Yeah, right here. I got this for you, big guy. You're number 1.
Good to see you, Pat. It's been a while.
Good to see you, Pat. Good to see you, my guy. Good to see you, buddy. So the one instance where I don't fault him is he was just being a dad and just encouraging. Like, I don't. But that's where I draw the line. That's it. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
that's the end of it. But where I don't
it.
agree with him is you built, like I said, you built the standards up for your kid that I think he knows deep down in his heart that his kid was never going to live up to him.
The reality is, when LeBron retires, Bronny will be out shortly after that. I'm very confident of that, and that is what it is.
I would
just
agree
like
with that.
Thanasis, Antetokounmpo. Like, nothing against him.
Yeah.
Here's the difference, though. Thanasis is still like a 6'8" body or whatever he is.
He's huge. He's a big boy.
I'm more likely to keep that person on my roster just because he's a big boy. Bronny's not a big boy. The reality is, if Bronny doesn't turn into Chris Paul, he's cooked. Like, legitimately, if he does not turn into Chris Paul in the next year, he's done. Because nobody wants to deal with an undersized person who can't pass at an elite level, and Bronny can't. So that's what it is. It's oh, yeah, he might be a good shooter. Okay, we have a lot of good shooters, and a lot of them are 6'8".
Yeah.
That's the problem.
100%.
That's definitely an issue. Unless Bronny
we've been talking about, there was a lot of information crammed into like that hour and 55 minutes that they talked. One of the big points that Bronny had made, and it was interesting. I don't know if I agree with it, but just an interesting perspective when he was talking about him being compared to like Bird and Magic and Kobe and all of these elite shooters, when he kind of towards the beginning of the interview, and he was looking at it, he almost gave two perspectives. He gave one perspective, what like he was talking about it as an 18-year-old kid, when he first came into the league, and he's like, I couldn't fucking believe that these people are
oh yeah, I remember that.
are comparing in his first 2 or 3 seasons. They're putting his name in the mix with all of these
All-timers.
literal legends of the game. And it seemed like when he was younger, it was more of a humble kind of perspective. But as he talked about it, it almost switched. Like it was more like it went from being completely humble, and then they were talking about it for like a good 8 or 10 minutes. And at the end of it, though, it turned into more like him viewing himself as, them being under him. And don't get me wrong, like me and you have talked about it before. There was like a 3 or 4 year stretch where LeBron was untouchable.
Yeah, I think that LeBron.
I think it was me and you have said there was like a 2 to 4 year stretch where he was as close to Jordan as anybody has ever got.
And the funny thing is, in that stretch, I don't think he won any titles. No, he won one. I believe it was like 2015
it was when he
to
drug
2019.
Cleveland to the championship.
Yeah. Those were the times when LeBron showed everybody really his full potential, because there was, people want to forget this, they want to like sweep this under the rug, but there was about a 10-year period in LeBron's period, his first 10 years, when he would kind of almost flat out refuse to take the last shot or the last few shots. He would kind of choke. He would get it would get to the Maverick series was the shining example of that.
Yep.
It's like, and then once he overcame that, like, because he was already like one of the best players ever. But once he overcame that little, like, I'm kind of shy at the end of the game, and became like clutch towards the end of the game. I mean, he went through and then he was still athletically strong. Like, I think he was like 20. Was it mustache LeBron? Mustache LeBron and LeBron who took off his headband. That was when LeBron peaked and then he did it until he went to the Lakers, and you could tell even when he won the championship with the Lakers, he wasn't that guy. Like, he wasn't. I mean, he was still. He even talks about it. He's like, I was still like a top 10 player in the league, but I wasn't the best player ever. Because I think from 2015 to 2018, you could argue during that, and this is why the GOAT debate is so interesting, right?
Yeah.
Because you could argue Jordan, even though he did retire in the middle of that, like, his peak was like 9 years. So it's like we're arguing about like, longevity versus peak years. And I would say LeBron's peak years were like either 2014 into 2019. It's like a 3 to 5 year thing, and he was just unstoppable. I mean, nobody has had his stat line in the finals ever since.
Those like 3 years, me and you have talked on numerous occasions about this, right? Numerous occasions. Those 3 to 4 years in that like prime stretch where he got as close to Jordan level as anybody. I don't think he got to Jordan level, but he was as close to it as anybody's ever. People forget how good he really was.
2016 to 2018, everyone knew, even though the Cleveland Cavaliers record wasn't like that great, everybody knew they were going to the finals. Everybody. Like, once LeBron, I think he was like the 5th seed one time. Everybody's like, yeah, no. The Hawks, no. Celtics, no. Raptors, no.
Yep,
LeBron will get there. LeBron will get there. So that was what it was. And I think only Jordan has had that. I mean, like, we never knew if Kobe was going to repeat. We were rooting for him sometimes, but we didn't know. We didn't know he'd get back there. So it's very interesting. But I agree that was he changed his perspective, because I mean, I do think he has a right to say, like, I'm at least a top 5 player ever. Like, I think LeBron has that right to say that.
He's 100% in the conversation.
Yeah,
for top
and he's
5, 100%.
I think he's in the conversation for the first. I really do. I think he's in conversation for the GOAT. But I think that it's a complicated conversation, and you need like a lot of different, like, if you want to say who's the best player who lasted the longest, it's LeBron, of course. But Lupe just brought it up. Lupe just brought this up. No one is afraid of LeBron. And I'd say after he exited his prime, or before he entered his prime, and when he exited his prime, no one ever was afraid of LeBron. People were afraid of LeBron when he was at the peak of his powers, but that didn't last very long.
It was a very 100. I'll agree with you 100%. That like it was very short lived.
Not as long as Jordan, and that's
like,
what it was.
Like he almost got to the peak, and then came crashing right back down to earth.
For sure.
So I'm gonna so this is speaking about him, about him kind of finding his way. So I'll read you a quote from him from the interview. Remember he was talking about finding his path and coming from the Section 8. So this is a quote from him. It says, "I'm living in Section 8 housing. It's me and my mom, and we're trying to figure it out. And I'm like, oh, okay, if I commit to this, I can figure it out. I could figure it out for not only myself, but for my mom, to get out of the inner city and make something out of it." So he said all this. He said, I'm a 13-year-old kid, and I realized that I'm doing things in, during the basketball game, running faster, shooting, seeing the court. He said,
that'd be so cool.
Yeah. He said at 13 years old, he said, I kind of realized I could just see it better, see it better. I was just more, I realized I was just more athletic. He's kind of like getting that perspective was interesting.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, yes. I mean, it's kind of like Luka Doncic as well. Like they knew that, like Luka Doncic, whenever he was young, like 9 years old, they recognized that he was much, much, much better than his age group. So they put him up against 14-year-olds. And that's when he started struggling. And he eventually became better than the 14-year-olds. And that's kind of what happened to LeBron, is that he noticed early on, like, hey, I'm actually bigger, stronger, faster, better than everybody in who I'm playing, and I don't even, people that I looked up to aren't even as good as me. That's something he talked about as well. Like these people, this guy grew up from me. He grew up near me, and I'm about to face him, and he's just like, wow, he wasn't even that good. And like LeBron, he's right. He recognizes that, like he begins to recognize that he is one of the best players ever, or rather one of the best players in his age group, and that makes him think, maybe I can. Get out of the inner city, get out of Section 8. We all have dreams like that. We all want to push our family forward. Very relatable.
100%. So here's another one. I want to get your reaction. I'm gonna read you this. This is from, once again, the guys. All these quotes are coming from the Pat McAfee interview that he did with LeBron James. It's an hour and 55 minutes. If you haven't listened to it, you definitely should. It's a really, really good I think it's one of the best McAfee's ever done. I think it was a good interview.
Absolutely.
And we'll talk like just the way he spoke too about back and forth, like come on, get out of the way. He almost to me sounded likable. Almost. But like it was interesting though, because you like there were certain questions that Pat asked him and that you could tell he got a little bit kind of up in his feelings and a little triggered on, obviously the Stephen A thing, and then there was like So I'm gonna read you one on his relationship with Michael Jordan, right? Because Jordan. So just so you know, guys, Jordan doesn't take LeBron's calls. Jordan doesn't speak to LeBron. It's been well documented that there is no, there's no good there's it's bad, all bad blood there, basically. Like
Sure.
there are no good feelings between Jordan and LeBron. Jordan is not a LeBron fan at all. So I'm going to read you this quote from the interview, and I want to get your reaction from it. He said, this is on your relationship with Michael Jordan, from Pat McAfee. It says, LeBron's answer, he said, we're in a good spot. We don't talk because I'm still let me give you some background. So McAfee laid it out that during the interview, LeBron doesn't, he said right to him, LeBron doesn't take your calls, and that it's well known that there's, some bad blood between the two of you, and you, like there's just, hold on a second. My cat is killing me here. Come here. So there's Pat basically set him up for it, and it was good because he's like, it's well known that you guys don't get along. Jordan, you've called Jordan multiple times, and he doesn't answer your call. Like he's kind of snubbed you for years, and I'm on the side of McAfee with this, because Pat was like, I'm not McAfee, excuse me. I'm on Stephen A's side, and he said Jordan doesn't take your call now because you're an insufferable douchebag.
I mean, that's well documented with LeBron. I mean, people have talked about, and the thing is, LeBron is very
so here's the quote, right? But I just wanted to lay that out. Stephen A basically said to LeBron, no, Michael doesn't take your call because he's jealous of you. He doesn't. Yeah. He could care less about you. He doesn't take your call because he just doesn't because you're just an insufferable asshole. Yeah. So here's the quote. It says, on his relationship with Michael Jordan, we're in a good spot. We don't talk. I think it's because I'm still playing.
Yeah.
I think it's because I'm still focused on my craft. I think it's because I'm still focused on my craft right now. I would hope that we could speak in the future.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Because let's just lay. LeBron's done some stupid shit in the past, to garner him this insufferable douche reputation.
Yeah,
he's done and said some real stupid things. Let's not forget let's not forget he tried to dox a police officer during the protest.
That's true.
So let's not forget that little snafu. He's done some stupid things. So the insufferable douche thing, to me, off the court, kind of is a little warranted. If you do stupid things, especially in today's NBA, where people don't forget, like social media doesn't forget. The internet is forever, motherfucker. Everything stays on that. The internet's forever. If you put something out there and you say or do something stupid, it's forever.
Yeah, that's true.
Right? So that's where that's coming from. That's like Jordan doesn't take his call. It's not because he doesn't like him or respect his game. It's because he's just an insufferable asshole. Like Jordan has said, he respects LeBron's game and the contributions to the game. He just don't like him,
Yeah, and you can see why. There's definitely a personality difference. LeBron is more of a kumbaya, like everybody get along, but he's kind of passive aggressive too, which is kind of lame. For instance, I'll never forget when LeBron won the Eastern Conference Finals, and I think it was 7 games. It might have been against the Celtics. I don't even remember. Excuse me. I remember LeBron said basically he collapsed on the when they were interviewing. He just goes, oh man, I just can't believe it. I can't believe I carried this team. And granted, he had 45 points a game, 10 rebounds, 10 assists, and 2 steals, 2 blocks. So he did carry the team, right? But I think the difference is, right, I don't think so. Jordan's kind of the exact opposite. He'll carry, except for the fact that he carries the team. He'll carry the team. He'll drop 50. He'll, dominate the game in every single way. He'll dominate his matchup. He'll shut down his defender. And if his teammate goes 0 for 10, he'll still say, I could have made better passes. LeBron, or rather Jordan, he holds his teammates accountable in practice, not in front of the media.
100%.
Whereas LeBron will throw his teammates under the bus in front of the media. And also, LeBron says things that are just, arguable. For instance, he only has 4 titles. He said after 3 titles that he was the GOAT. And the only thing I understand about that, the only argument I have, or the only argument I understand, is talent. And this is something they talked about in the interview too. Talent today is much better than talent back then in the 90s. It is. That's true. So LeBron is facing harder competition and still sometimes winning. But the reality is too that if it was really your era, right? If it was LeBron's era and it wasn't, he didn't share that era with other people, Steph Curry wouldn't have 4 rings. 3 of them against LeBron.
Yep.
So that's all I get the Kevin Durant ones, but that wasn't the only ring that, Curry also beat him just straight up too. So, and the whole Warriors team did. So, there's a lot of things you could say about LeBron and the Spurs too. They have 2 titles against LeBron. It's just one of those things where, yes, you made it to the mountaintop a lot. Yes, you've accumulated a lot of stats. Yes, you are probably the 2nd or 3rd best player of all time. But it's hard for us to give you the actual crown of best player of all time because, like Lupe said, no one really was afraid of LeBron throughout his entire career. And even in his prime, he was beatable. So,
well, that's I think that's why Jordan 99.8% of the time gets the nod over him for the GOAT is because, dude, Jordan was a titan.
He was well respected by everybody too.
That's the other part of it too. Off the court too. But on the court, he was a titan of the game. Just a titan of the game, dude. And everybody knew it.
If Jordan wanted somebody traded, which was rare, but if he did, he would tell you in practice, he'd be like, I'm going to get you fucking traded, right? That's the kind of shit he would say. Sorry, Kirsten. But he would say, I'm going to get you traded. And
what's up, chicken nugget?
Versus LeBron, he'll say, oh, no, dude, we're best friends, bro. I love you. I love you so much. Can you trade this guy, Rob? I really need to get him out of here. He's kind of
going on, calls Nico after practice.
Nobody likes that stuff. Nobody respects it. If you want to, and I'm not saying you go to the media either. That's why I said Jordan did it better, because he would, in the media, he'd be like, oh, yeah, he went 0 for 9, but he's a great teammate. I love this guy. And then in practice, he'd be like, what the heck were you shooting? What was that, dude? You're dumb. He would tell him directly, man to man. And that's more respectable.
So just to piggyback off of that, right? Here's a quote. Here's a quote from him when asked by McAfee about Luka Doncic, his message to Luka, right? Here's a direct quote from LeBron, right? He has to fit out and he has to figure it out. Let us figure it out. Let us figure it out with you. We need you to be who you are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
I like that.
It's basically we all have a role here. Fall in line. I get it, but at the same time, it's I don't know, man. You're trying to tell you're trying to tell Luka Doncic that I don't know.
I take it the other way. I actually, believe it or not, I take it the other way because I think that LeBron And by the way, I've said this for a while. Lakers LeBron is my favorite LeBron because he is a lot less
Mouthy.
yes, and he also understands his limits better, especially the last couple of years. Like he defers to Austin Reeves for certain things, and he lets Austin Reeves take the ball up, and he plays off the ball.
He defers a lot now. Like,
and that's good.
Yeah,
he needs to, because the reality is, this is the truth. LeBron as a number 2 is the most disgusting player ever. Because Jordan's never been a number 2, right? Shaq's never been a number 2, like a number 2 option. So that's why I think he wants Luka to take over. He's like, I want you to be the guy. I want people to be scared of you, so I can just sit over here and just get your oops and get these wide open jumpers and like just have this chill game that LeBron wants to have. He wants to go out with a bang, but also he wants someone to carry him. So I think LeBron obviously wants another title. He knows that Luka's that ticket. He's that guy that can bring him another title for sure. And LeBron will be number 2. And the thing is, this is what I'm suspicious of, right? Because here's my conspiracy theory.
Yeah.
I think that LeBron, the second that they win that title, he'll be like, oh, man, I carried everyone, man. Oh, man, I'm just a kid from Akron, man. And stuff. And like, I think that will be like his mantra, even though it was clearly Luka's title. But people will know. People will know.
But so we'll get into that, like, because I don't think the Lakers, even with the 2 of them, are beating the Celtics.
I don't think so either. Not this year. I don't think so.
Yeah, no, it's like so all of this, guys, the last 35 minutes, what we've been talking about, it was, if you haven't heard the interview, the Pat McAfee and LeBron James interview, it's an hour and like 55 minutes. It's a really, really good interview. McAfee doesn't hold back. He asks some questions that he doesn't want to hear. They talk about shit like it's as close to candid as you're gonna get. I'm sure he had some heads up.
Yeah, McAfee doesn't pull punches. He doesn't sugarcoat things. Yeah, I noticed that. What he does is he's not going to go over the line, though. Like, McAfee knows where the line is, and he stays on the line, and that's what you get out of Pat McAfee interview. He says, says LeBron James isn't on MJ's level at all. And Lupe says, was he ever on MJ's level? I would say, what's up?
Go ahead.
I was going to say in 2018, I think LeBron did pass MJ briefly. I do. I think that in a single season, if you ask me right now, what is the single greatest season that any player has ever played? 2018 LeBron stands out to me. But like we were just saying earlier, there was about a 6 to 7 year stretch where MJ was the most feared man, maybe even 8-year stretch where he was the most feared man in the world. And he also took basketball from a national sport to a global sport. That's something LeBron can't say. He never did that. LeBron actually made the ratings worse. So I do think that, like, just strictly basketball wise, I believe that in 2018 specifically, LeBron reached a level that I don't even know if MJ ever reached, because it was like 55, it was like 52, like 12. His opponent went like 0 for 9. Like, he was shutting down people on both sides of the ball and dropping 50 points and having 12 assists, 12 rebounds, 3 steals, 4 blocks. Like, it was not human, what he was doing. But again, it didn't last that long. And the problem was he never won a title out of it.
That one reason is why I don't think he ever got there. That's why I say it's as close to Jordan level. That 2018, 2019, that 2017, 2018, 2019 seasons for LeBron, that was as close to Jordan as we're ever going to see.
Yeah, I definitely believe that. I think, there was things that he did differently that people, this is the thing, you can argue different things, right? You really can. You can say, like, are assists really that important? I mean, honestly, if I am Michael Jordan and I have, Pippen, he gets 14 assists, but I have 60 points. Is that even like, let's say you get 30 and 10? I mean, what's better? You know, you could like people. They always talk about how Jokic is, he's reaching levels we've never seen before. It's like, yeah, efficiency wise, you're right, but volume wise, and this is the thing with Kobe. It reminds me of Kobe actually. So everyone's like, look at Kobe's numbers, bro. They weren't even that good. It's like, yeah, because Kobe he shot the lights out of the ball, and sometimes he had bad nights. Like, that's the truth. But when Kobe was hot, he'd give you 82 and win the game. So it's like that's the type of stuff that that's why it's like you can argue different things. Like some people would say Jokic is the GOAT. They really would. They'd say he's the GOAT because they look at the raw numbers.
So just on a side topic for that real quick, you know what's hilarious about Nikola Jokic? The dude flies under the radar. So like his contributions just go, he flies below the radar so much. And then when you look at his stat line at the end of the year, you're like, holy shit.
I mean, it's
astonishing what he does every night.
You could argue he's the best center ever because a lot of centers weren't nearly as efficient as he was, and they didn't set up his teammates. But that's the thing; like everybody's going to be able to argue what they're going to argue. You know, basketball is. Oh, sorry. It's a fluid sport. It's very fluid, and it does change enough to where people can make those types of arguments. Yeah, Joe. I mean, did you see his buzzer beater at the halftime earlier? We should pull that up.
I did.
Can we pull that up?
Let's see. If you can get it, pull it up.
Yeah, I got it.
I'll put it up.
This is nuts, dude. And like this is so casual. That's the crazy thing about it. It's just so right here if you're ready. It's just so casual.
You got it?
Yeah.
All right, ready?
Yeah.
Go for it.
All right, cool. Yeah, look at that.
Again, just another straight drive.
He just flicks it up in the air perfect. You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just we've never seen anything like that before, in my opinion. We've never seen a guy that can just and then he just goes in like
Steph's full court one was pretty impressive too.
Yeah, let's pull that one up. Oh my gosh, dude.
That was dude, even I was like, okay, that's fucking cool.
Yeah, like how do they practice this stuff? It doesn't seem to make sense. But yeah, you see
dude, if you look like I swear to God, Steph was like an air like a fucking magician. You watch that ball and it
looks like magic.
It like curved and land like that one was wild.
It's really nice. It's crazy. Yeah, here they are right here. If you wanna, I got it up too.
Oh, you got one?
I got one.
You got Steph's? All right.
Yeah. Well, I just got ones. I got them 5 in a row.
Yeah. Play it. Go for it.
He's gotten so good at that.
That's fucking insane. One is crazy.
Yeah, just having the dexterity to do that is. And people will be like, it's edited. It's like, this doesn't look edited to me. This looks like this is just what he does. And I mean, people witness it. They see it in the game. So yeah, Curry full court. Let's see the most recent one. Yeah, this one. This is crazy.
You got it?
Yeah, this happened the other night. He's just like this. He just got hurt too, but he's like, "Hey, everyone's like, can you shoot it full court?"
Yeah, watch this, dude. Watch the curve on this ball.
It's just
splash. What?
It's just nuts. It doesn't make any sense, really.
No.
It really doesn't make sense.
So let's get into the meat of this thing, right? First, right?
Yeah.
Like before we move on to the next, let's get into the meat of it a little bit, right? So LeBron's during that interview, probably halfway through it, maybe like, I don't know, 45 minutes or somewhere in that range, 45 to an hour. Stephen A is not shy about telling any of these professional athletes from any league, like the truth and how it will, and just how he feels about certain scenarios, right? He's never shied away from it. right? The LeBron and his kid thing, right? He's never shied away from it. And one thing LeBron, for all of the skill on the court, I don't think he knocked the headphones off you. That was a good one.
Big sneeze.
For all of his attributes on the court, and he is, dude, he let's be honest, at 41 years old, he still sees the court exceptionally well.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
The understanding and the basketball IQ is still incredibly high.
Oh, yeah, definitely. He's probably the smartest player in the league.
But like the one thing to me that LeBron, the one thing to me for LeBron that never, like, it's almost like it never developed is hi Butterfly, how are you? Good morning. The one thing that never developed, JD, is the ability to block out the noise. You know what I mean? Like so here's my issue with LeBron, and it's been like this for a long time. LeBron loves the praise that he gets. Like, he loves it. Like, that motherfucker basks in it, right? Like, he loves the praise. But as soon as you pluck a nerve with him, it refers back to this, condescending, negative. Like, he does not take criticism, even when it's constructive criticism and not meant to be bad in any way, shape, or form. He does not take constructive criticism well at all. That's been my biggest problem with him for probably 8 to 10 years now. So Stephen A was talking about how just Bronny ever since he got into the league, he struggled. And what we had said before, Bronny just was put in a situation where he should have never been put. Like, he was not ready for this. He was not ready for this. And Stephen A didn't say anything malicious, right? It was nothing.
I didn't hear him say anything horribly malicious. No,
but that's what I'm saying. Like, he wasn't saying like Bronny sucks or like get him out of the league. It was, and Stephen A praised him for basically being, he said, I don't fault you for being a dad and for like encouraging your kid and backing your kid. But, like we had said before, it goes along those lines of where you build your kid up to be this something that he's not. And then when he doesn't live up to the expectations, like, and the world and the media just crumble around him, and they go after, not really go after him, but they're, it's like, what the hell? Why isn't, it's all this, why is Bronny, where's the improvement? What the hell is, you're a LeBron James kid? It's all this. And Bronny went after him for it. Bronny went after Stephen A, and he said, like, he's lucky he'll be talking to me. Here, hold on. Let me get this. Hold on a second.
Which one do you want me to pull up? I can pull it up.
For the
Stephen A. Smith one, or LeBron talking about Stephen A. Smith?
Yeah, see if you could pull the Stephen A. the quote, the just the clip of like what he said about Stephen A.
Sure.
But like but Bronny went after him. Bronny went after him.
LeBron did, or Bronny did?
LeBron went after him. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, he did. Yeah, and like, well, let's see. So like, here I got LeBron pulled up, and then I can.
All right, so let's do LeBron first.
Okay.
All right. So is it good to go? Am I good to?
Yep, you're good to go.
Which leads obviously to.
Ready? Okay.
Cool. Yep. Go for it. Play it. Here we
Stephen
go.
A. Which leads obviously to you and Stephen A.
Tell me if you need to pause it.
Legit, that feels like a moment that had been brewing for a long time.
He's like on a Taylor Swift
Yeah.
tour run right now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we're watching it.
Yep.
We're all
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
we're all you're seeing it as well. It's,
No, he literally, it started off with, I didn't want to address it.
Yeah, sure.
I didn't want to address it. I wasn't going to address it. But since the video came out, I feel the need to address it.
yeah, on fire. You would be not to
Motherfucker,
talk about it.
Are you kidding me? If there's one person that couldn't wait to the video to drop so you can address it, it's your ass. Like seriously, it's and like another, he completely like missed the whole point. The whole point. Never would I ever not allow people to talk about the sport, criticize players about what they do on the court. That is your job, to criticize or to, be in a position where, okay, if a guy's not performing, that is all part of the game. That's all part of the game. But when you take it and you get personal with it, it's my job to not only protect my damn household, but protect the players, and I think a lot of the media, including him, and I know he's gonna be happy as hell. He's gonna be smiling from ear to ear when he hears.
I'm gonna pause that real quick. I just want to make one point before we go forward. When he says he's trying to protect the players, that's kind of ridiculous because it seems like, I mean, for me, from my perspective, watching LeBron for pretty much my whole childhood / adult life, or you could say teenagers, whatever it is, watching him his whole career, I would say the second anyone criticizes LeBron's teammates, he seems pretty happy about it. He's like, yeah, it's his fault and stuff. Unless he likes that teammate, and then he'll come to their defense. But because it's his son, he doesn't like it. So right there, I call cap.
Bullshit. But once again, though, this is why people criticize LeBron. Loves the praise, right? When you heap praise on LeBron, that dude is happier than a pig in shit.
Even
right?
if he
He will love that praise. But once again, as soon as you start, going into that negativity aspect of things, he gets like this. He gets defensive.
Well, he's trying to change the narrative too. Like he's trying to say like, it's you. I protect all my teammates. It's like, do you?
But see, that's Hollywood LeBron though.
Yeah,
that's why people don't like him. That right there is why Jordan doesn't talk to him.
Yeah, so true.
Keep going.
What'd you say?
Let it go. Let's keep going.
Oh my God, he's gonna get home and grab some ice cream out of the fucking freezer and sit in his chair in his tiny whities on the couch.
I hope at some point you two do get a chance. But you're right.
Dude, like relax, bro. Like relax. Like seriously, just
Kind of on that note, Bronny, your son, he's obviously had that inspiration in the home, and you talked about it since years ago, wanting to play long enough to play with your son. So you obviously visualized that. But how was the real moment with that happening? Because I know me seeing it, seeing the Griffey's there, just seeing it, like that was just an unbelievable moment. So what was that like for you, really actually being in it?
Like seeing that pop fly head towards King Griffey Sr. and then see Junior over there right before the ball got to his glove and he snatched it out the air and run back to the dugout like laughing at his pops. Like that was a cool ass moment. And for that moment, that game, that home opener versus Minnesota, and then just over there and see Griffey Jr., man, the kid, and seeing his pops over there.
I get what he's saying, but Ken Griffey Jr. was, first of all, he was more well known than his father was, and he was probably twice as good, twice as talented.
At least, dude. Like, don't get me wrong, Griffey Sr. was good. Difference. Griffey Sr. was good, but Ken Griffey Jr. is on the legend status of
it's like
baseball.
Top 15 ever. So
ever.
And us getting that picture at half court, and then us going out on the floor and having that moment. I wasn't physically even there.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't even there.
You're floating.
I'm floating, and I can
right there.
I can only imagine where Bronny was. I don't know. We haven't even talked about it yet. At some point we will, but I wasn't even there. Like I might have been in the rafters. I might have been at home. My body may have been at home watching the game, watching the moment. I completely was not there. And but damn, that was an unbelievable moment, man, for me to be able to like have that dream, be able to speak it into existence, for it to come to fruition.
Pause that for a
for
second.
my mom and my wife and my
So him saying, you know, to have that dream and to speak it into existence, dude, you did more than speak it into existence. Come on. Like he just wrote, like that one sentence just wrote off like 4 months of being like, you better draft my kid, LA.
Yeah, he literally said, I'm going to leave the Lakers if he only signed an extension after they drafted LeBron. Or Bronny, sorry. LeBron only signed an extension after they drafted his son. He wouldn't sign an extension until they drafted him. So like this is the thing. These are the things that Stephen A. Smith is talking about.
You had said controlling the narrative or you know what? It's not even controlling it. It's twisting. It's twisting it to the way you want it to be. Like that was not the narrative, dude. For 4 months, you were a giant douche. Like
he doesn't look anyone in the eye either when he talks to him, which is, I don't know. And that always rubbed me the wrong way. But Jordan is a legend because of the respect that he has on and off the court. And that's the one thing that's going to keep LeBron out of the GOAT thing, because people don't respect him like they do Jordan. Your peers have to see you as the GOAT.
100%.
Otherwise, you're not in the conversation. You might have accumulated enough stats for us to say it's undeniable that you're top 5, but if your peers don't say, because like they're the ones playing you, and another thing is like LeBron. Another thing with his stats and stuff. Kudos. This is what I'll say. LeBron can get more credit for than anyone else can get. Is he has definitely taken care of his body. There is no question that he's actually taking care of his body. And some people would say, some people argue HGH. I do not know about that. I can't like. I don't think HGH. I don't think so.
I don't think he does anything like that. I just think he's ridiculously stupid when it comes to like gym workout. Like
I think he is too. He clearly must be. Bill's got a couple good questions for us, but yeah. Yeah, this is a very interesting interview, but you can tell like why Stephen A. Smith criticized him though.
Yeah.
Like, why he took shots at LeBron, because it's like you're clearly doing stuff that is just nonsense. But I don't know. Do you want me to keep going with this one?
Give me the other one that you got. Give me the other one you got.
Sure. Well, I'll just do Stephen A. Smith. Just responding.
All right, so this is the Stephen A. rebuttal, right?
This is yes.
So the next clip, guys, that we're gonna kind of watch and react to is the Stephen A. rebuttal to that Pat McAfee interview, and I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm siding with Stephen A. on this one.
Right.
I am. He didn't say anything disrespectful. And LeBron's right. It's his job to talk about you know what I mean?
It's literally his only job. His job is to talk about LeBron James and Stephen A. Yeah, you'll see what he says, but I agree with he's just like, once you retire, I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna bother you anymore.
And here's the thing too. You think like Stephen A., since this is his freaking job, he's not going to go about it in a way where it's going to, put any of his reputation, his reputation for, you know what I mean? Like, he wouldn't do that. He's not that stupid.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. It's
all right. So let's see what Stephen A's got to say in response to this. You got it up? We good?
Yep. Oh, yep. I got it. Sorry. Ready?
All right. Ready?
Yep.
All right, so this is Stephen A.'s
What
response.
a time. What's
this,
going on, everyone? Welcome to First Take. Thank you for being with us. That is Stephen A. Smith. I'm Molly Karam. Stephen A., in case you didn't know, PMAC sat down with LeBron for an hour plus, obviously addressed a lot of stuff, and I'm assuming you'd also like to address some things.
Oh, I got things to address. Number one, congratulations to Pat McAfee. First of all, anybody would have gotten that interview. I take no issue with the job that Pat McAfee did. Having LeBron James on his show, anybody would have done that. The questions that he asked was more than appropriate. Outstanding job by him and his team, no doubt about that. Let's get to LeBron James. So LeBron James decides who really outside of his crew doesn't really have any friends in the media. Suddenly he's going to be in Indianapolis driving into the country.
Pause that for a second.
Comes on immediately
Pause
after.
that for a second.
Yeah.
Do you, dude? I kind of agree with Stephen A. LeBron doesn't have a lot of allies, and he's alienated a lot of people in the league. When it comes to like getting your view out there and like your response and your like, he doesn't. It seems over the years, a lot of people that used to be on his side, they're just not anymore.
I mean, I think that he hasn't. I think another thing is like he has a bunch of what they call like yes men around him, like and he's had it his whole life because in it's like a good thing. It's a double-edged sword. It's a great thing because he's a really high-profile person, and if you let random people into your business whenever you're high-profile people without any like trust, then everything falls apart, right? But it's gotten to the point where it seems kind of toxic, and Butterfly says childish. Yeah, I'd say it becomes childish.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you can't criticize me. I'm LeBron. Like,
yeah. All right, keep going with it. Keep going.
Okay.
Take clearly, they were looking at it and used the Steve Nash, the upcoming Mind Your Game podcast with Steve Nash to disguise what his real agenda was, which was to address me, because he continues to lie to the world about what I said and who I was pointing the finger at. To regurgitate an obvious point, when I talked about Bronny James early in the season, and I highlighted the fact that at that particular moment in time, he simply was not ready.
He's still not.
I was calling out LeBron James. LeBron James never addresses that with anybody. And for some reason, no one ever asked him about that. Wasn't it you who said that Bronny James was better than some players? I want to say something
really quick about Bronny James. Bronny James, this is my official position on Bronny James, and I'm sticking to it. I don't care if Bronny James drops 60 points in the G League. I don't care. He's not ready for the league. Here's why.
He was never ready. He was never ready for what the NBA was gonna. He was never ready for it ever.
Until he's dropping 8 assists a game. Because again, I don't care, because the game is not about, oh, look at me, I can score points. The game is about who can you score them on? What are your matchups? And Bronny James will always, because of his size, always be in the bottom 5% in matchups. Always. He'll be in the bottom 5% in defense. He'll be in the bottom 5% in offensive matchups. So until he can average about 8 assists a game, he's worthless to the NBA. Anyway, that's what I wanted to say, because it's true. People are like, oh, he scored 39 points. I'm like, that's great. And honestly, it shows way more than I thought he was going to do. Like, that's great.
You scored 39 points in the G League.
The G League, yeah, exactly.
That makes dude.
And he had 9 assists, or 9, excuse me, not 9 assists, 9 rebounds. Do you think that a 6'2" guard is going to get 9 rebounds in the NBA consistently?
Not a chance.
Not a freaking chance. There's no way. He got hot from 3, and that's what it was. But anyway, I can. Do you want to add to that one?
Yeah, keep going. Keep going. Let's keep rolling.
NBA right now, before he was even drafted, wasn't it you who said, if you want me, draft my son, because you wanted to play with your son for 1 year? Wasn't it you who literally circumvented meritocracy within the National Basketball Association and got the entire media world in the NBA and, of course, the Lakers?
Hey, appreciate Brayton for the $2 donation. That's awesome. Thanks, buddy.
Go Gators.
Good to see you, buddy.
To buy in on that, LeBron James did all of that. That is the person I was talking about as a father, not the father in Brentwood or Bel Air, wherever else he has homes. I'm talking about the father that shows up at crypto.com arena. Last time I checked, Bronny James is a professional basketball player.
Right.
LeBron James went on national television yesterday and lied. He said that I have no problem with you talking about the game. What did I say about Bronny James other than at the time he wasn't ready? That was it. I said nothing else. So if that's the issue, and I pointed to LeBron James and the fact that you've circumvented a meritocracy just to get your wish at the expense of the credibility of the league in a lot of people's eyes, that's talking about you. That's not talking about your son. And then he goes about the business of taking it a step further. First of all, let's understand something to the viewing public in America and beyond. This was planned. Rich Paul was on Pat McAfee's show about 10 days earlier, whatever. Rich Paul, for everybody that knows, is the man, the founder of Clutch Sports. He's a strategic thinker. He didn't go there by accident. You're there talking with Pat McAfee, and the next thing you know, within 2 weeks, after obviously a negotiation took place, LeBron James is on it. We know a negotiation took place because we understand that since LeBron had uninterrupted, or whatever the hell it was called, he's been about control. He's been about making sure that things are his way. Us as the media members know it because of how his behavior has changed since he's had his own media outlet in terms of how he treats the media. But we won't focus on that too much this particular moment. In the aftermath of that interview, what does he do? He puts out some page about me, boxing and all of this other stuff from a decade ago with 2 torn rotator cuffs. Fine, no problem. It's very, very embarrassing video. I'll be the first to say and all that stuff, even though I like it to be left up there, because if people think I want to throw hands like that, that's how I throw hands, knock yourself out. I'm good with it. I know that the man I am today is not the man that I was a decade ago, physically or beyond. I can tell you that. So we get that out the way. Why do I bring that up? Because that's
just petty, dude. That's super petty.
You become.
Yeah, I mean,
you're LeBron James. You that butthurt over the things that I'm saying.
And like, I don't know if we want to go any further, but like, so like, Stephen A. Smith is what, 6 foot? LeBron is 6 foot 9,
6'1", somewhere in there.
And LeBron's just like, I'm gonna fight you, bro. It's like, I mean,
that's dude. That's been his problem for years. Like you're
not tough, bro.
Well, he thinks in his mind and his crew that surrounds him, that's like him doing that on the Pat McAfee show, taking that shot as like a flex. No, it makes you look like a fool.
Yeah, it does. It definitely does. And I agree. I would, after all this discussion too, I would agree with Stephen A. Smith too. I think that ultimately, like, if you're going to sit here and complain about criticism, your son shouldn't have joined the league. Like if you don't want people to criticize your son, you should not have gotten him drafted in the league. Butterfly says Bron is one of those fathers that pressured his kid to fulfill his own dreams and desires. Right. And I mean, maybe, and here's the thing, let's give them the benefit of the doubt just for argument's sake. Let's say that Bronny really did want to just be a basketball player. Sorry, man, you're not big enough. If it were anyone else, they wouldn't be big enough. You know, it's just
you're not big enough. You don't have the height to compete
or the
with these
skills.
Guys. Well, yeah. No,
that's what you need. If you're short, you have to be able to pass. You can't pass. All right, then I'm gonna get a taller guy.
Yeah.
It's that simple.
But it's this. You are arguably in the top 5 for the greatest basketball players to step foot on a court. And you're telling me with how you treated your kid coming into this league, you don't want us to criticize any of that?
Yeah, I mean, that's
that's as fucking soft as it gets. That is as soft as it gets.
Well, it's like the ego, you know. It's definitely the ego. He's gotten it. He's gotten that ego built up over time.
It's just unrealistic expectations, dude. It's just really unrealistic. You can't do what he did in the offseason with his kid, and then his kid finally gets in. Great, yeah, you get drafted, right? And then the entire planet gets to see how bad his and how not ready his kid is. Like, and you expect no criticism to come out of it? Come on, man.
Yeah, and I mean, could his kid be in Austin Rivers someday? Sure. You could.
100%.
Is he as good of a prospect as Austin Rivers was back then? Probably not. And that's the thing. It's like LeBron's over here like his numbers are going to be in the Raptors next to mine. Like now you're just being like, I don't know who's in your ear gassing you up, but now you're just being crazy because that'll never happen. That's just not going to ever happen. Yeah, he made a mockery. I mean, well, I don't know if he made a mockery of his son, but he set his son up for a bunch of mockery. That's for sure.
Dude, he set his kid up for failure. He set him up. That's what happens when he built his kid up so high, right? Being like, this is the bet, you guys need to draft him. This is going to be great. Like you built your kid up for this. Like if anybody should be eating their words and eating crow and apologizing, and LeBron should apologize to his kid for putting him on a mountaintop that he was never going to reach.
That's what it is. And I think you just said it exactly how you just summed it up exactly how you can sum it up. He put him on a mountaintop, and now he told him that he earned to be. He brought him up, told him you earned this, and now he's got this entitlement. So yeah, it's unfortunate. And I mean, honestly, I hope that everybody's wrong about Bronny, and I hope he can develop into a great point guard, just for his own sake, honestly. But his dad is going out looking stupid. People are waiting for LeBron's retirement at this point just because they're sick of his personality. But we have some. Do you have anything else about that topic? I was going to say we have some interesting questions in the chat.
No, I just wanted to just do the whole that interview. Like those are just two small clips from the interview, guys. Yeah. It was, I encourage you to go listen to it. It's an hour and 55 minutes. It's you get a lot of info for an hour and 55 for, just under 2 hours. You do get a lot out of it. It was a good interview.
Yeah. I think the McAfee interview was great. He's usually good at getting things out of people.
So one last thing before we kind of, get on to the next topic here. The ability for LeBron to go from sounding really humble to the biggest twat waffle ever because some of the stuff he sounds really humble about, right? Like talking about when he was 18 and when he first got in the league and his first 2 or 3 seasons, they're all these reporters are putting his ceiling at Magic, Bird, Kobe. They were comparing him to these guys that are just at our time, at the current, just legends of the game. And it was humble, right? But then you get into the stuff with Stephen A and the narrative and the look and the sound, his demeanor changes, it does a complete 180 and you see that side of him that nobody likes. Just that arrogant, pompous, holier than thou attitude. That's the attitude that nobody likes and that nobody wants to hear. And that's the reason his own ego is what's going to hold him back from being a true legend of the game.
I wonder how people would feel about LeBron right now if he had not only killer instinct, but if he was more humble. I'm curious about that too. Yeah, 12. Well, that's a new one. I like that one. Excuse me.
But so we got some other stuff to talk about, guys. We're gonna stick kind of with the Lakers though. JD, I want to get your you've been a Luka fan for forever. And you've followed him for a long time.
Since before he was in the league, yeah.
So what do you make of what do you make I want to get, what do you make of this trade to the Lakers?
I have a few. If you want to, if you're very curious, everything I have to say about this trade, definitely check out my channel, but I will sum it up very quickly. Because I have 3 videos on there just ranting for an hour about it. But this trade was the worst trade in the history of American sports, possibly global sports. I just don't know about soccer. I can't quite possibly tell you if it's like I'm not a soccer fan, so I don't know if there's some crazy trade that I don't know in soccer. But as far as I know, this is the worst and craziest trade ever. So I like, and this is the craziest thing was the fallout. So when it first happened, it was so shocking. I don't think people they couldn't quite digest it right away. I know I was very shook for at least like 3 days. I couldn't quite get it all my head around it. Right.
Yeah.
But the craziest part is this. It's as simple as this. So you have a 25-year-old superstar who just took you to the finals. And this wasn't a situation where, like, this is where a lot of people are misconstruing it. This wasn't a situation where the team was great, right? And this player was just part of that team. He was just one of the pieces that fit in that team. That wasn't what happened. Okay?
No.
Luka Doncic was the heart, the soul, the engine, and all the talent of the Dallas Mavericks.
He was the driving force behind the whole team.
Yeah, he was the main driving force. There's no way that the Mavericks would have made it out of the second round series without Luka Doncic. He carried them past the Clippers. He carried them past the T-Wolves. And I forgot there's one more series that I think Kyrie was cooking, but regardless, he was mostly the reason why the Mavericks were there. And it all started with this moment. I'm going to pull it up real quick.
Yeah, please do.
So it all started right here. And it really is. I mean, this is to me, this is where it started, because we don't know what, like you talked about earlier. We don't know what happened in the meantime.
So me and you have talked about this ad nauseum too. Something must have happened between Nico and him, because for you to get basically an aged out Anthony Davis and nothing else for Luka Doncic, that seems like a revenge kind of fuck you type move to me. That's what it
seems. Yeah, it seems personal.
100%. So you got it? You got it up?
Yes.
All right, you want me to pull it up?
I'll give you 1 second. But yes. All right. So yes, you can go ahead and pull it up.
All right, ready?
So I won't even play the sound. I just want you to look at what happened.
Okay.
And keep in mind, this is the franchise superstar. So you got his father. So you got this. This is Sasha Doncic.
Yeah, that's his dad. Yep. And he didn't even. Wow,
drinking a beer.
Dude, that's like a complete stonewall.
And Michael Finley, the president, comes up. He comes up to him and he grabs the beer from Luka's hands. As Nico hugs him, you can see his hug with Nico is very weak, And Finley grabbed the beer out of his hand. He's just like, "All right, like, what the fuck? You're gonna take my beer?" Like
that look from Luka says it all. Look at the look on his face.
You can tell, and he's just like,
it's just
"You're
super
being disrespectful
uncomfortable
right now."
It's just super uncomfortable.
It's a horribly uncomfortable moment, and I think that a lot of us, especially I think a lot of people who were trying to kind of, I guess, brush it under the rug, you could say, like there's, he just loves to drink and stuff, and Luka's, he's, I don't know, he's wild or something, but he's the superstar, right? Like Michael Jordan this is the thing, guys. Michael Jordan would win a game and he would go party all night long, smoke cigars, drink liquor, go golfing, go on a bender for 3 days, and then come back and just ball and drop 50.
And dominate again.
So not all of us are built the same. All right. That's just, and Luka is built different. And so here's the layers that I'll kind of break down, but that's how it started so actually, here's what's actually happening. I can tell you, there's people asking about conspiracy theories, blackmail. I can tell you. So the Adelman family that bought the Mavericks from Mark Cuban back in 2004, I think 2024. bought them from in 2024 last year. They made their billions. They're worth about $30 billion. They made their billions on casino winnings. And right now, there's a huge lobby in Fort Worth, Texas area to legalize gambling, at least within city limits. And
I've heard about this. Keep going. I've heard about this.
Yeah, the Adelson family are on the forefront of that. They are from Vegas, but they moved to Dallas area, and they're saying, here's $5 million for this lobbyist, here's $10 million for that lobbyist, so that way we can legalize gambling and we can set up a casino right outside the stadium and get rich, because that's where we're really going to make our money. And if that doesn't happen, people have speculated, and I don't know how true this is. I'm not like, you know what I mean? I don't know everything, but people have speculated that if this doesn't work, that Patrick Dumont or Adelson family or whatever made a deal with Adam Silver, because realistically, this trade is so ridiculous it should have been vetoed, right? Like, it absolutely should have been vetoed. There's no reason why it should even exist. It should not have been. Like, Adam Silver should have been like, a 33-year-old guy who's always injured and a first-round pick for Luka Doncic. Shut the fuck up. Like, get out of here. Like,
go back to the drawing board there, buddy.
No
Try
way.
again. Yeah.
Like, that's not an acceptable trade at all. Because it's not fair. You know what I mean? Like, it's for obvious reasons. Anyway, so they think that people believe that if the Adelson family does not get what they want in Dallas with the casino, like passing the law and getting what they want to do, that they're going to move the Mavericks team. They're going to say, no, don't make an expansion team in Las Vegas. We'll take our team and take them over there. We'll take that slot. And if somebody wants to reopen the Mavericks, that's on them. And basically, they are selling out full force just for money. And they also don't want to pay Luka Doncic max money. That's what they were like.
See, that's the thing that I heard. I didn't hear
the core of it.
Yeah, I didn't. Yeah, see, that's I heard at its core. I got tidbits of information about the whole Vegas and the connection between the Adelson family and all that. But what at the core of it, they didn't want to pay Luka Doncic the $324 million for the Supermax.
Yeah, they didn't want to pay him that money. He probably got into it with them. You know, Mark Cuban is the one that drafted him, not these people.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't know these people like that. So he's 100%. Probably like, this is my franchise. I'm Luka Doncic. Shut up. And they're probably like, no, we're not going to, you know.
Dude, there had to have been some kind of negative back and forth between Nico and maybe, you know, a couple of the upper staffers with Luka, and that uncomfortable look. Like, you don't give a GM or upper management that look like Luka gave, unless you're unless you're just
you got something against him.
Yeah, unless there's 100%.
I have a quote by Patrick Dumont, which is the guy who ultimately gave the green light to Nico Harrison to make this trade. I can pull that up if you guys are ready.
Yeah, let's hear it.
So this is Patrick Dumont. With
good to go
in regards to the Luka Doncic trade.
Good to go.
So here it is. Shaq did not work hard.
Are we good to pull it up?
Oh yeah. Oh, I thought you did. My bad. I thought it was already up.
All right.
No,
all right.
We're good.
All right. Here you go. Restart it. Let's restart it. Let's hear it.
So I'll go back to back. I'll start with yeah, here we go. This is Rob Pelinka first.
This opportunity to us.
We really believe in it, and time will tell if I'm right.
This is Nico Harrison.
Bird, Magic, Kobe, Shaq. They worked really hard every day with a singular focus to win. And if you don't have that, then it doesn't work.
So if you couldn't hear him, he said Bird, Magic, Shaq, Kobe, all these people worked really hard every day with a singular focus to win. He's talking about Luka Doncic. Just want to be clear, guys. He's talking about Luka Doncic right now. He's saying that Luka Doncic does not have the drive to win after he just carried them to the finals.
Yep.
That's what he just said. It is one of the most disrespectful things I've ever heard an owner say about a superstar.
And this is after Kyrie and Luka literally dragged that whole team to the finals with the Celtics.
Yeah. Yes. So that's kind of my thoughts on it, is that like this is clearly that's kind of my final thoughts on that one, is just simply that it was clearly, number one, disrespectful. It was, number two, they did it for non-basketball reasons, and you can't convince me otherwise. They did it for money reasons, because they want to make more money, and they weren't sure if Dallas was going to allow them to make more money. So they said, all right, we'll just get rid of your superstar. And the fans rioted, by the way. The fans, I can pull that up too. The fans rioted. I don't know if you guys witnessed that, but it was not pretty, in fact.
The reaction from Mavs fans was crazy. They did not take it well, and they shouldn't have. Yeah, and
I agree with Butterfly. I think Luka's going to win more with the Lakers. I think they're going to give him more superstars, and that's just going to be what it is.
The Lakers will 1,000,000% put everything that they need that they need to put around Luka, like in order for them to get what they want. 100%.
Absolutely.
So let's shift gears a little bit here, JD. It is the off season here for the NFL.
Yep.
Patriots and Bears with new leadership this year.
Oh yeah, the Patriots. Yep, the Patriots and the
Bears both with new leadership. NFL offseason in full swing.
Yep.
Let's what do you think of your new coach there, bud? What are your thoughts on? What are your thoughts?
I'll be honest. I wanted Mike McCarthy, and a lot of people, say that this Ben Johnson guy is the guy. He's the guy and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
It always starts from the top down with the Bears, with every team. It always starts from the top down, and ownership is not great. We just lost Virginia McCaskey. George McCaskey, he's been the operations manager for years now. So, and he hired Kevin Warren, who didn't hire Jim Harbaugh because he doesn't like Jim Harbaugh. Keep that in mind too. That was definitely a red flag by Kevin Warren. But they ended up saying that they would hire Ben Johnson, and they gave him a lot of personnel control. The first thing that they do with Ben Johnson is they trade for Joe Toomey, and they trade for two more veteran offensive linemen to at least get the culture of the O-line back where it needs to be, which I appreciate. Because O-line is such a tense, sensitive unit, right? Like, you have to have leadership, you have to have consistency, you have to have talent, and you have to stay healthy. Because if there's one hole in that offensive line, if one person gets swapped in and it's been cohesive and then all of a sudden it's not cohesive, it's really, really bad. Bill says, JD, how do you feel about your new guys coming in for free agency on a tampering period? I haven't heard that. I didn't know there was a tampering period, but I mean, Ben Johnson has been talking shit pretty much the second he.
Oh, he's been doing a lot. He's been doing a lot of talking.
Yeah, so he's been talking. He's talking crap to Amon St. Brown. He's been talking. So I'm not surprised that they were tampering. I don't think anything will come of it because the Bears are one of the privileged teams in the NFL.
They'll sweep that story under the rug. Nothing will come out of that.
They're one of the more, like, the Cowboys, the Bears, the Giants. They're one of the OG, and even the Patriots now. They're one of the blue blood franchises. I don't think they're going to get in trouble for it. And they're not polarizing enough to get in trouble for it.
Surprisingly, are one of the most lucrative teams in the NFL. They sell that stadium out every time. They're on prime. No matter what their record is, they're on primetime games. They will take that story and they will sweep that so far under the rug. Nothing's going to come out of that. Nope.
Lakers have to trade LeBron. They will. No, they won't trade LeBron. Bobby, how do you feel about Vrabel blowing this team up and getting Stephon Diggs and great draft picks?
So I like the Vrabel pick. I like Vrabel. They needed a guy after the Gerard Mayo thing, and I don't fault Gerard. Gerard was thrown into a situation where he was never going to win. A brand new coach with brand new coaching staff and a roster that just was not there. Was not there. You know what I mean? Just a roster that was not gonna win. Like Mayo, they picked. Did they pick the wrong guy? Yes. I think there was a lot of behind the scenes politics going on with the Patriots. Why they picked him? I think they promised him the job way prematurely. I think they promised him the job way sooner than they should have, and they had no way to back out of it. They had no way to back out. So when Bill left, it was, well, fuck, we got nowhere else to go. We promised this guy the job. We are incredibly uncertain on whether or not he can even do it. We don't have the coaching staff around him, like we have. Everything is new. Like they were never going to win last year. They were never going to win. It was going to be an uphill battle every game. Mayo it was, you could tell just every single game he was just in over his head and wasn't ready for everything that entails, dude, being a head coach of a team, you have to look at everything. You can't just look at one side, offense, defense, special team. Like, you are in charge of the entire game day operation.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where the Patriots haven't been that good for a while.
No.
So if you don't show the blueprint early, it's like the Bears. They're just going to they'll give you like a year or two. If you don't show some improvement, then they're going to move on.
So here's the thing. I like the Vrabel pick because it's going to stabilize the ship. It's going to stabilize it. He's going to give them a direction. I do like the moves they've made in the offseason. I like the right tackle that Morgan Moses. I like that pick. It showed like they've invested in the offensive and defensive lines, which I like a lot. The Stephon Diggs pick, I'm up in the air about. It was the talent there. Like, was he having a phenomenal year before the injury last year? Yeah, he was on pace for like over 1,000 yards. He was on before the injury. He was on pace, to have a really good season. But on the flip side, is he fast and shifty, and can he take the top off of a defense? Yeah, he can definitely still do that. But he's also a fucking head case.
Yeah. And he has a torn ACL, or he did.
And he's coming back from one of the worst injuries you can ever have, which is ripping your ACL.
Yeah.
So I hope I get the Stephon Diggs that I saw at the beginning of the year last year. Absolutely. I do. I hope we do. But I'm reserved. I'm going to save my criticism on him till probably week 6. Because we're not going to know what he is until we get at least a quarter of the season through, What
do you think of Drake May?
I like Drake. I
like him too.
I like Drake May. I think he's smart he doesn't take a lot of unnecessary stupid risks.
Yep. Yeah, I agree.
And when he needs to, he throws when something's not there, he'll pull the ball down and take the sack and just kind of survive, to the next down, or he'll just throw the fucker out of bounds and just reset and go again.
Right.
It's the responsibility with the football that makes him a good fit for that team. Now, I've been hearing rumors lately that have been going around that I don't know how true they are, but the Patriots might, instead of taking a receiver, they might take that Ashton Genty
or whatever.
Genty, yeah.
Yeah, Genty. Yeah.
Now, the only problem with that is that's going to remind me of kind of that Tennessee Titans offense where it was Derrick Henry and a bunch of meh receivers. And how far, I mean, that might get you to the AFC title game. But if you can't throw the fucking football and if you don't have at least some receivers that can make some plays and score some points, this isn't 1930, dude. It's not, it's not like this isn't the 60s where it's like, I'm like, you
I'll
have
trade
to
you DJ Moore.
You know what I mean? You have to be able to score 30, 20. You got to be able to score 27 points in today's NFL. And if you can't put 24 to 27 points up consistently, you're kind of fucked.
Yeah. I will trade you DJ Moore on behalf of the Bears. I want an offensive lineman and your first round pick. And I will trade you DJ Moore because he's turning into a head case too. Like the second he got paid, it's like, yeah, it's no bueno. So
no, 100%, 100%.
Wide receivers act like that sometimes. Bill says, Bobby, I want Travis Hunter at number 4 because he is a receiver and a defensive player. I'm gonna look for other questions. Why don't you answer that one?
See, I hate that he's a dual threat. I don't like that. I want you to focus on one thing and be really good at it. Like as much as I admire the kid for being a dual threat,
it's amazing.
I don't know. Like to me in the NFL, you need to pick one. Like he's going to, I think in the NFL, in college, you might be able to get away with that. I don't think you can get away with it in the NFL.
Let's see here.
I want him to pick one and stick with it. That would be my choice. But that's just me.
I got another question from Bill that he asked earlier. I'm just scrolling up and seeing all because I know he asked a couple questions. Yeah. So he says for you, Bobby, he says, I want the Celtics to trade up to top 5 and draft Cooper Flagg. If you've seen him play, he will be an excellent player for an NBA team. You Celtics fans, if you got Cooper Flagg, that would be bogus. Because you're way too much.
You know what? You know what? If you think about it, right? New ownership looking to really send a message to the fans.
Sure.
Why not? Right? Why not send the right message? Make a splash. Make a big time move and say, you know what? We're going to move up. We're going to get. Because
wouldn't you have to trade one of your top guys though? Maybe
it depends on the scenario. It really depends on the scenario. What are people? If you can trade 3 draft picks, you know what I mean? If you can trade 3 draft picks and maybe a bench player and keep the core together, you might be able to do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So here's the thing with professional sports, dude, right? You name it. Baseball, basketball, football, hockey. The draft is a fucking gamble.
Yeah, it is. That's true.
You're throwing you are literally turning the lights off in a room and throwing darts at a dartboard on your best guess on where the fucking bullseye is, right?
Yeah.
That's the draft. That's the draft in a nutshell. But like free agency, you get to see guys for 2, 3, 4 years. You know, you get to see what they are, what they develop into.
Right.
Exactly. So it's kind of like it's kind of like buying a brand new car. Are you going to buy the brand new car that has 0 reviews on it and just kind of hope everything goes well?
Yeah.
Or are you going to get the 4-year-old Ferrari that you know
pay
what I'm saying?
Half the price too, and
for half the price. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. I'm with you.
That's how I look at how I look at the draft. Right? Do you have to be good at the draft to kind of rebuild the ranks and rebuild the depth? Yeah, you have to be good at it to a point. But me, I'm going to take the 4-year-old Ferrari that I know. You get what I'm saying? Like,
so you're not interested in that. Like you're basically saying
I understand the draft. I get that you have to be good at it because once again, you have to replenish the ranks, you know? So it's almost like that same dark room. If you're within, you know, a foot of the bullseye, you can, you know, that's good enough. You know, that's almost good. You get what I'm saying?
And he's a beast. I mean,
that's how I've just approached it, you know, like that's how I approach the draft. If I can, let's say you get let's say you get 7 picks, 1 pick per round, right? 1 pick per round. And you hit on 3 out of, let's say you 3 out of the 7 that you pick are hits, and they amount to something in your perspective league. In my opinion, that's a fucking win. You went 50%. You went 50% on something you're guessing at.
Yeah, it's all just speculation and stuff. And
you went 50% on something you're just taking a guess at. Like,
so in the NBA, there's 2.
That's pretty good.
Well, yeah, for you, 50%. Yeah, that's pretty good. So in the NBA, there's 2 rounds in the draft. Yeah, and the Celtics have their 2025 first round pick with no restrictions. They have their 2026 first round pick with no restrictions. They have their 2027 first round pick with no restrictions. They have their 2028 pick swap, and they have they don't have their 2029 first round pick, but they have their 2030, 31, and etc.
They have a lot.
So the Celtics are in a uniquely good position.
But that's what I'm saying. Like,
you're talking about the Thunder, but the Celtics are.
But you know what I mean? Like, that's like you're to me, collateral and capital mean a lot, right?
Yes.
So if I can garner if I can gather up 3 second-round picks and 2 first-round picks and kind of package that into a top 20 player in the draft again, you know?
Yeah.
Top 15 player. Why the hell not? You know?
Yeah, and they don't have any needs right now. Bill's talking about, you know, Al Horford's not going to last forever. Porzingis, and I don't know if he said this, but Porzingis is not healthy. So if I'm Brad Stevens, I would be looking at, like, not necessarily a Cooper Flag, but maybe a rim protector.
It's funny though, because KP is great, right?
Oh yeah.
But it's the way he plays that's his own worst enemy. You know, like
exactly
the way he plays is his own worst enemy. unfortunately.
I mean,
the guy plays super aggressive and super tough, and he's like a twig.
Yeah, he is very.
He's a rail.
He's bigger now.
He's gangly, dude. He's you know what I mean. He plays like he's 255 pounds.
Maybe he should become 200. Maybe he needs to eat some steak.
But that's how I view the draft. You know what I mean, though, dude? That's just my opinion, but that's how I view the draft in these professional leagues. As long as you can get it good enough and you get, you know what I mean? You can get close enough and maybe hit on 30 to 50%, you know? Then you go to free agency to get the known.
Especially in the NBA. Like if you're filling out your roster, free agency is where you want to be. Not the draft necessarily. NFL, like, I mean, I want as many draft picks as possible in the NFL, but
you can also once again though, dude, right? If you get 15 draft picks, take 4 or 5 of those, smash them together.
On a few, yeah.
Smash them together and go to a team that's picking top 5 and be like, I have 4 second-round picks, so you have 4 more picks that are going to be in the top 100. Give me your first-round pick, picking at pick 7, pick 8.
Yeah. No, it makes a lot of sense. I hope that Cooper Flag comes to Chicago. He's actually the biggest athlete from the Chicagoland area since D Rose, probably.
Yeah,
I would say
100%.
Yeah, so that'd be nice to have him around the Midwest, or even the Bucks. Oh, Giannis and Cooper Flag on the same team. That's a few titles right there. So that'd be interesting. He's interesting.
So for the final 15, 20 minutes, let's shift gears a little bit. Let's go down some rabbit holes here and have a little bit of fun.
Sure.
So we'll save some of this for the next episode. But let's just, dude, so the JFK and MLK files came out, and them conspiracy theorists that have been barking for a long time about a lot of things,
50 years or so.
They don't seem so stupid no more, dude.
Yeah,
they don't seem so stupid no more, because the stuff that came out about MLK, if 50% of that's true, that shit's wild.
Yeah, it's the thing is that
MLK was Diddy before Diddy.
I did see some of that stuff, yeah, but like the fact that he was assassinated by the CIA, the fact that JFK was assassinated by the CIA, these things are now known facts, whereas for about 40, 50 years we were told that you're just a conspiracy theorist for believing such a thing. There's a lot of things on these files that are being released, and some of them are more fascinating than others. I mean, they found the Ark of the Covenant, apparently. There's so many things going on right now. It's honestly one of the most fascinating times to be an American, because you're seeing the aristocratic class be dismantled.
Did we ever think we were going to get an inside look at the MLK and JFK stuff?
No, I think everybody had accepted the narrative and that we're willing to move on. And now finally that everybody had finally moved on, or at least enough people had moved on. Now it's like they release it and it's like, oh, wow. So they were right all along. Basically, everyone who is questioning,
that stuff, the JFK stuff that was crazy. The fact that these 3-letter organizations, and you name it, any one of these 3-letter organizations, right? Name one of them.
Yeah.
Like the fact that they had knowledge that the JFK thing was going to go down and basically like ignored it was insane. Like they wrote like read some of these reports, guys. They wrote like people were blowing whistles and raising red flags about all this, about something possibly happening to the president, like to JFK.
People knew.
And they just kind of looked the other direction. And then like no matter which side of the political spectrum you're on, right? Left or right or whatever, the fact that people involved that were close to him, just that were supposed to be protecting both of these guys, looked the other direction. And then everybody has, you're like, oh, it's just crazy that they look the other direction. Like all these red flags are being brought to these people's attention, and they literally just went like.
And I mean, I think that like being that that's so long ago, what fascinates me more just about all this stuff being released is it because it is like an avalanche. Like this is just the JFK and MLK thing is literally just like one of like dozens of things that they're releasing on a daily basis. The DOGE team, the Department of Government Efficiency, they're releasing all these fascinating things that the government and the media and the, I guess for lack of a better term, the deep state has been hiding from us. And as it gets uncovered, people are looking around like, wow, we were just arguing with each other about all these stupid issues for like 20 years or whatever. It's 30, 40 years. Meanwhile, like all of these people are like creating this basically protective bubble around their corruption, right? So many like about 20,000 people are in on it, right? Like they're all just kind of like, yeah, shush, hush, hush. We're gonna steal all this money. We're gonna money launder it over here. We're gonna send it over to this country. We're gonna send it to him. He'll kick back it to me. It's just, I mean, it's crazy that so many government officials during the last 50, 60, 70 years have gotten so rich off of the American public, off of policies.
Yeah, look at our taxes, dude. Every American like literally gets squeezed with every and they're over there, they go into office like, oh, Senator such and such, you name it, left or right side, Senator such and such goes in with $112,000 annual salary. Yeah. They walk out 6 years later worth like $8 million.
Right.
I don't care how good of an investor you are. 120 to 8 million. No, that's not mathing, bro. That's not mathing.
And there's actually a video of just like how the government. So like this is the fascinating thing that's been going on recently. Is they're showing how the government has been operating in the past few years. And actually, this is one I'd love to pull up for you guys.
Go for it.
So basically,
let's do it.
Our system, and I don't care if you're a left winger or right winger. I don't care.
No, dude. This is something.
Both sides need to be criticized for this. This is so bad.
Yeah.
Is they've had basically any time that they need to do anything, they have a cave underground in DC. And let me show you this shit. I'm not even kidding. Like I wish I was joking right now.
This is like the rabbit holes and all this is the stuff that's like this stuff is and let's even if 50% of this shit is true, it's insane.
Well, like reality is stranger than fiction, bro.
Yeah.
Like we have all this fiction. Like, what if the government's doing this? What if they're doing that? No, it's much worse than you could possibly imagine. Like, it is not nearly as like, oh, this guy is paying off this guy. No. It goes like 8 layers deep. There's like 8 people getting paid off in between. It is much
you want
worse.
me to pull it up?
Yeah. Here it is. I got it for you. So this is the guy. So he's part of the Department of Government Efficiency. He is taking, no salary because he's worth billions. He is the guy who, I forgot his name, but he's the guy who created Airbnb.
Yeah.
Anyway, Elon Musk introduced him.
And you wanted to help out.
I bumped into Anthony and Elon probably back in February, and they told me something about a mine.
A mine.
Dealt with retirement. And they said they needed somebody to help out to fix retirement in the government. I love the challenge, so I jumped on board. And it turns out there is actually a mine in Pennsylvania that houses every paper document for the retirement process in the government. Now, picture this. This giant cave has 22,000 filing cabinets, stacked 10 high to house 400 million pieces
in 2025.
It's a process that started in the 1950s and largely hasn't changed in the last 70 years. And so as he dug into it, we found retirement cases that had so much paper, they had to fit it on a shipping pallet.
What the fuck?
So the process takes many months, and we're going to make it just many days.
Will it be digitized or how?
Absolutely. So this will be an online digital process that will take just a few days at most. And I really think, it's an injustice to civil servants who are subjected to these processes that are older than the age of half the people watching your show.
They're keeping it in a cave.
So we really believe that the government
in an actual, and that's not like a metaphor. It's in an actual cave in the
systems.
So this is
because right now
this is why. So if you're like, there's a lot of people who complain, the process for Social Security is crazy, and oh man, and all this stuff. That's why. It's not because it's like people are like, oh, they're just lazy. No, they have to go into a mine
and find it. They have to go into an actual cave and dig it up.
In a world where we have the internet, in a world where we have AI, in a world like this is crazy. And like, so like, forget about like, you're talking about like the corruption and stuff. There's a lot of corruption.
I wonder if Aladdin and a lamp are in there too.
Like I'm saying, dude, like what is this mine? And like nobody even knew about it as far as I can tell. He's got Red Sox questions for you before you take off. But yeah, this is a funny. I don't know if we even need to. I think that's pretty much it. Like I showed you the pictures of the mine. Like you guys can do the research by yourself. Like please look all this stuff up just so you understand that. Like it is like that crazy, Like we don't live in it. Basically,
well, the other thing too. Here's the other thing, right? Like you can look on like the Department of Government Efficiency's website, and like I urge
people to do that.
The sound of farts from poison tree frogs in Uganda. $3 million for that.
Just take politics out of it first.
How loud do poison dart frogs fart from Uganda? In Uganda. Like that's the type of shit that we're sending millions of.
We send money to that.
Yeah.
He said we should have the same energy about the Epstein list.
Oh,
I
dude,
do.
I want to see it.
Yeah,
all.
like what do you mean?
wanna
I
see
do.
all of it. I don't give a shit.
It was
Left,
redacted.
dude. Listen to me. Left, right, middle, indifferent. I want that. I don't want anything stricken. I want to see everything.
I want to know all of it. I want to
If
know.
we're being transparent, let's go. Let's just take that rocket and launch that to the moon. Like, I want to see it all.
I would love to see the Epstein list, and I mean,
all of it.
Really, I just want him to get
All
exposed
of
and jailed, and the fact that it's been like washed or redacted, I think that's unacceptable. I think that there's a way to do it, and I think that somebody should find that way, and
Because no matter which side you're on, if you're doing shady shit, you should be held
Sex
accountable.
trafficking, you need
to be held accountable for
or
it.
killed, or killed for treason. Like, it's absolutely crazy.
It's but that's one of the no matter what side.
I agree with you, Lupe.
I want all of it, dude.
I'm with you.
I want everything. If we're
I want it all on the
if we're
table.
going full transparency, let's launch that rocket to the moon and let's see everything.
I'm with it. Yeah, I mean, I definitely keep that same energy. I want both sides to be exposed for what they've done. I want people to face jail time. I really do. I want to see some jail time, bro. I want to see people from all sides of the aisle getting what they have coming the whole time. You know what I mean? I don't want anyone to get away with it.
You know what bugs me about it too? And this is with all of them, dude. You name an elected official, whether they're left, right, or independent, the insider trading stuff miss me with that.
Yeah, I agree. And I actually don't think I'll take it a step further. I don't think that government jobs should get money. I don't think you should get money at all. Why do you get money? You're a public servant. This is a privilege. You have a privilege to serve your country. This isn't a right. You don't get this isn't like something you've earned. It's a privilege. We voted you in. We decided that foolishly, a lot of cases, we decided that you were the one to control the funds, the government, all these things.
You know what the biggest thing a lot of these elected officials and these, not only the elected officials, but the people that these elected officials appoint, you know what they miss and they forget a lot? We put you there. The people put you there. The people put you there. We put you there. You work for us. This isn't the other way around. Like, that's the biggest thing that they forget, man. They work for us. We put you there. We can take you out as
that's how it should be.
We can get you out of your appointed office or your position of power, whatever you're in, just as fast as we got you in there. People forget that.
And honestly, that's what we need. See, like they make jokes about, it's like you could put a cup of water and slap a D or an R on it in certain districts, and that district, you know what I mean? It's just, that's where we need to get away from. This whole left versus right, Republicans versus, that's what we need to get away from. We need to talk about what's right
and what's wrong.
Agree with, and wrong, what we don't agree with. And like, that's what we need to talk about. When it's your side versus my side, they get to do whatever the hell they want.
We're
doing with each other.
Yes, they do.
So they get to do whatever they want. They can be like, "Oh, I'll be corrupt over here. I'll be corrupt over here." They don't know anything because I'm on your side and I'm on your side. And then meanwhile, we're just bargaining. It's just it's ignorant.
To finish off episode I think we're on episode 38, right? I got a couple of stupid. So I haven't figured out what we're gonna call this last segment yet, right? Sure. But here's something. Here's just some funny things for you guys before we take off. This is some stupid criminal stories.
Oh, here we go.
All right. So 2013, a guy named Derek Mosley proved that he was not the most intelligent human being on the planet and got arrested. Mosley, in broad daylight, in I forget where, I think this is in where's this?
What's his name?
I think it's in Derek Mosley.
Oh, Derek.
Where is this? It's somewhere in the northwest. I think in the northwest. I forgot to put the thing down. But so Mr. Mosley in broad daylight walks into a firearms dealer with the bright idea of trying to rob the place with a hunting knife.
I see that.
He decides to rob the place try to rob the place with a hunting knife.
A gun store.
A gun store. Tries to rob a gun store with a hunting knife.
Robs a gun store.
Brought a knife to a gunfight.
Of course.
So within minutes, within minutes, he walks into this gun store, smashes one of the display shelvings. Within minutes, the owner and 6 other patrons have weapons drawn on him. He's on the ground taking orders and awaiting arrest from the local police department. Idiot.
How do you think that would work?
Stupid. He walked in there. This is like 2 p.m. It's broad daylight in the middle of the afternoon. The dude walks in there with a knife pulled, smashes one of the display cases, tries to grab one of the guns, and is met with the owner and 6 other patrons with weapons drawn. He's within minutes. He's on the ground. He's on the ground waiting to be arrested by the local police department. Idiot. Stupid criminal. Stupid criminal. Second story comes to you courtesy of El Paso, Texas, right? This one, a bank robber, right? A bank robber decides he's gonna break into an El Paso church after the service, right? So again, middle of the day, right? After the church service, which is what, probably 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Right.
Church is what, 10 or 11 o'clock, usually around here. That's when they start, right? 8 to
12, yeah.
8 to 12, 8 to somewhere in that, right? So mid-afternoon, this dude breaks into the church, right? Takes a personal safe where the church keeps its donation money, right? And doesn't have a getaway vehicle. This motherfucker did this on foot. So he broke into the church, picks up the safe with the money, picks up a safe. And if any of you guys know anything, dude, safes are like 150, even the small ones, even like a 20 by 20 inch small safe is like 100 pounds. So this dude bear hugs this safe, picks it up. He gets 4 houses, 3 to 4 houses down, right? Collapses with the safe on some dude's front lawn and tries to he's starting to try to pry this thing open with a stick, with a branch from a tree. He's trying to pry this safe open in this dude's front yard in the middle of the afternoon, right?
Oh my gosh.
Here's the kicker. Said occupant of the house, the homeowner, walks out and notices this dude, right? It's an off-duty cop. He calls the police department, and once again, in minutes, the guy's in handcuffs and being taken away. Idiot. Stupid cop. Or excuse me. Stupid criminal.
Stupid criminal.
Stupid criminal. Yeah.
Many of them aren't smart, that's for sure.
I just wanted to leave you guys with something funny. But we got way more to come, guys. We got a lot of stuff to talk about, NBA, NFL wise. The NBA is winding up for the playoffs. NFL once again getting ready. Baseball season winding up. Me and JD will be back again for another episode, guys. But thanks again. Once again, this was fun. I kind of liked not, including everything, man. Like I said, we're just this podcast is going to have a little bit of everything. We're going to obviously keep the sports in there because me and JD, we're sports fans. So we're going to talk about the teams. We're going to talk about big sports events, but we're going to add, the shit that me and him talk about on, off stream.
Yeah. If you guys went through our text messages,
it'd be funny. You'd laugh.
You might find it entertaining. we say some
but
crazy
we're gonna throw this up because it's just gonna be like us shooting the shit, man. It's it's going to, I think we're going to have a lot of fun doing this. But good to be back, man. It feels, like I said, it feels good to be behind the microphone again and having some fun.
It feels good to hang out with you again, my friend. It's my fault too. I got really busy with work. Now I've kind of gotten a streamlined. I know you were busy too. I got a streamlined situation. Kind of like I know what I'm doing every month. My schedule is the same, so I should be more available for these things and just be on my channel a little bit more. And if you've been on my channel, you've seen me probably stream video games and stuff, but that's basically what I do on my channel, this stuff and that. But yeah, it's been fun. I really appreciate it. It was a great conversation. It's really good to catch up with people in the chat and
yeah, definitely
talk
man.
about some stuff and I talk about more than just sports too. So it's always fun to mix it up.
Definitely. Like I said, man, this is just we're just two normal dudes. We're gonna shoot the shit on the sports. We're just gonna talk about some scandalous shit, and then we'll have some fun with you guys in the chat, and then we sign off. It's and like I said, this is gonna be, you guys are all walks are welcome here. We talk to everybody. We don't, we're not going to shut anybody down for difference of opinion. We want the difference of opinion.
Yeah, I want to hear other people's opinions because too often I think in our country we've spent so much time arguing with each other, and so it's better to try to hear what each other are saying first.
Healthy, dude. There's nothing wrong with healthy discussion. Nothing.
Yeah, I agree with that. That's so true.
Well, I think it's going to be a lot of fun, man. Like I said, this was good. This was fun. Getting back into it, being able to just shoot the shit, man, for a couple of hours and hang out and talk about, some recent events in sports and just everything that kind of goes with it. It's been fun. But I hope you guys are in it for the long haul and come hang out with us again. We'll be back. We're probably going to do this twice a week, a couple hours. Thanks again, though, guys. We appreciate everybody. But that's going to do it for me and JD. We are out of here. And we will talk to you on the next one.
Heck yeah.
Everybody have a good one.